Today is Saturday, May 13th, 2023. Welcome to another episode of Walking This Way Impact Wars Podcast. My name is Furman Jackson Jr. I'm the founder of Walking This Way Impact Wars Podcast. And I want to let me introduce the beautiful, charming Desiree Bailey. Desiree, what's going on with you? Thanks for hanging out with me again on this lovely Saturday morning. Which just know it is Mother's Day weekend, by the way. So happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to have our guest on the show and talking about all of her upcoming stuff. We are excited for that, of course, and look forward to, her sharing that, and then also getting the good gossip for the weekend, right?
Oh, you know it. And then like I said, let me go ahead. And our next guest is a woman who's about her business, a woman who has set the bar. She's the host of the Hidden Image podcast. She's the founder of the Women and Men with Purpose tour. Also, she's a photographer in her own right. She's a Texas native, and we have Sabrena Ford. We welcome Sabrena to Walk in This Way
Hi.
Impact Wars podcast. She's no stranger. She's been on here before. Thank her for taking time out of her productive schedule. I know she has a lot going on. But I thank her, and we thank you for hanging out with us. Sabrena, talk about the tour that's taking place, the work that you're doing in the community, how you want to inspire and impact people along the way. So thank you once again. Like I said, we are live streaming right now on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Also, Desiree, we got to give a big shout out to those who listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all social media platforms. So, Sabrena, once again, welcome to Walking This Way Impact Wars podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience that's going to know you here for the very first time.
Okay, well, thank you again, Furman. I love that introduction. Before I even introduce myself, I just want to say, Furman, I've been watching you. You're doing great things. You came here from Alabama, you moved to Dallas, and you out here just crushing it. So I just want to give you your flowers as well, because I love what you're doing and everything that you have going on. Congratulations on all the nominations, awards, and all the tribulations that you have with your podcast. You're doing great things in the community. So thank you for what you do as well.
I
But
appreciate it.
everyone, I am Sabrena Ford, the founder of Women with Purpose Tour. It's an empowerment tour for women entrepreneurs. And we just recently launched the Men with Purpose Tour, which focuses on integrating mental health and entrepreneurship among men. So that's actually our brother company, our nonprofit organization. So we started the Women with Purpose Tour first in 2021, and we start hosting these business conferences for women entrepreneurs. But behind the scenes, myself and my COO, Nadia Thomas, she and I, we just always knew that we're going to have the Men with Purpose Tour. And so the vision is starting just to complete itself. So we launched the Men with Purpose Tour this past March in Arlington, Texas. We were at the International Bowling Museum. If you have not been to the International Bowling Museum, let me give them a shout out. That it is an amazing facility. I didn't even know that bowling, well, I knew bowling was a thing, but I didn't know it was a thing to have a museum about bowling. But if it's right off of right next to Six Flags. So I think it's right off of Six Flags Drive, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a fantastic museum. If y'all haven't checked it out, go to Arlington and check out the International Bowling Museum. It's a great facility. But we had an amazing time. Um, the tour's been going great. Everybody's just been gravitating to the tour. I've had so many women entrepreneurs reach out to want to share their testimonies and want to share how they became an entrepreneur. And that's what the tour is about. It's about positioning more women into entrepreneurship and leadership roles. And if you've never spoken before, if you want to be a speaker, this is a tour for you. It's a tour for first time speakers. This was the first time I even spoke at the Women with Purpose Tour. I never even looked at myself as a speaker until I dove in and tapped into myself and actually became one. And then I actually had my first speaking engagement outside of the tour this year. So when I'm up on stage, it may look like, oh, I've been doing this for a long time, but I really haven't. I just kind of tapped into the person who I wanted to be. I kind of looked into, well, who do I want to be? What do I want to put out there in the world? What example do I want to set? And so the tour is just an amazing platform for women to come and share their voices, talk about their brands, share their testimony, If you're a woman in business and you're looking for that promotion on your job, it's not even just for entrepreneurs. If you are already established on your job, you may be looking for a promotion. You may want that CEO position. We want to push you to go get it. There's some people, some women who don't even know how to ask, or they're afraid, or they think, oh, well, because I'm a mom entrepreneur or I'm a mom in business, that I can't have what our counterparts have, and that's just not true. So that's what I come in. If you're afraid to take that next step in your business or that next step in entrepreneurship, I'm a pusher. So I'm going to push you to get there. And if you don't know how to ask, I'll sit down and I'll help you come up with a professional way to ask for that promotion that you're looking for that CEO position, for that COO position. And so that's what it's about. And I'm super excited that we're on our fifth city tour coming up June 11th in Tyler, Texas. And then after that, we'll be headed to Houston, Texas on September 17th. And so we're just going to continue this journey of empowering women and men, entrepreneurs, men and women in business, one city at a time.
And you know what, Sabrina, that's awesome. That's a beautiful thing you're doing. I've just listened to you talk, and I just pulled up breaking the algorithm. And we know breaking the algorithm, it tells the word tells to tell you what to think about, what to be interested in, what to learn, what to pursue, what to worry about, and it's easy to let it. You can go through your entire day without making a single choice. Eat what you always eat, buy what you felt to do on Instagram ads, wear what your friends or influencers are wearing. Watch TV that's trending on Twitter. Go to highly rated bars and restaurants. Read the headlines. The algorithm shows you many people today will spend their whole life doing just that without even realizing. Now, maybe just think about that. You want to break the algorithm. Don't just go along with the word put out or what they portray or how you should act or how you should think, but breaking the algorithm, breaking out of their comfort zone, like you said, positions, um, them breaking the limit of themselves, that
Yeah.
mental blockage that we can say, where maybe my background, my history, my education, but you want to influence them to break that. So in other words, break the algorithm. Don't go by
Mhm.
what statistics say or what they say you're supposed to be, but go your way of being a phenomenal individual as yourself that you want to make an impact because we all different because everybody has different handprints. Our handprints not the same. So I just wanted to commend you on that. That's what me think about that. I just pulled that up.
Yeah, and to elaborate or follow up on what you just said, that's why I encourage people to take a philosophy class. That was probably the best class I took in college was my philosophy class because a philosophy class will force you to open up your mind and question everything you've been taught, everything you've been told, and not necessarily question it in a negative way, but just question it to verify, is it true or is it false? Is this really what I believe, or is this something that I've been taught because somebody else believed it before me and it's been pushed on me? Those values. A lot of our beliefs and ideas they come from our parents, right? But are they really
Mm,
our beliefs and our ideas? I gave an example to one of my friends, and such a simple example, but I'm a Cowboys fan. Shout out to you too, Furman, because I know you're a diehard Cowboys fan.
Such a
you know it.
But
diehard.
such
You
a
know it.
diehard fan. But I'm a Cowboys fan, and after I took that philosophy class, I actually used this analogy in a paper I wrote, and I had to question it. Am I really a Cowboys fan because I love the Cowboys? Or am I a Cowboys fan because my mom loved the Cowboys and that's what she taught me and instilled in me to love the Cowboys? So a lot of our beliefs and a lot of the things that we like and what we see and what we know, they're from other people's beliefs, other people's traditions. So we do have to go out and seek for our own. We have to research and find the knowledge and find what we really want, what we really like, what matters to us. And that's okay to find your own and walk in your own path. So absolutely, it's I encourage everybody take a philosophy class. It'll open your eyes and it'll make you question and want to research and want to learn more and more and more even about yourself. So yeah. Thank you for saying that for me because that made me think of that right there.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
great. And
that's why.
that's something we talk
Go ahead,
about on
Jen.
here too, is just breaking that cycle,
Yeah,
believing in yourself, not letting anybody, dictate what your limitations are. We're talking about dreaming big, following up with that. Some people are, trying to tell others, like, well, let's be a little bit more realistic. We want to teach our younger generations that they can, shoot for the big dreams. And so I
absolutely.
think that that's important. We want to see them have growth and not just stay, in that area. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
think that's awesome. So for those that are going to be there, at the event in Tyler, are they going to have that chance? Like we talk about, making sure you have good, and Furman's going to give me some shit on this one, but good headshots, good, stuff for our marketing stuff and networking, everything. So will there be headshot opportunities and all that stuff there for them?
Oh yes, I'm always open to doing headshots, and I always encourage entrepreneurs. You need business headshots. Even as a photographer, I hired another photographer to take my business headshots because I have to have them. So if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, you need headshots. You need product photography. That is so important, especially if you're a food brand. You need product photography. You have to have it because that is what gravitates people is what we see, those pictures, especially on a menu. How many times do we go to a restaurant and we're not even reading the menu, but we're looking right at the picture? Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Or I'm going to order
Yeah.
that. We're not even reading. We're looking at the picture. If you have great pictures, if you have great headshots, that's number one. That's going to get people to stop and look. Then, of course, you want to have great content. Once you get that great content, that reels them in, then you get ready to close the deal. It's like an order of operation to it. So it's simple and easy. Start with great pictures, give them great content. After that, reel them in, close the deal. Next customer, repeat.
Right, right. We argue all the time. Furman stays on me that I need to get. Cody has done an amazing job with our website. He's taken some phenomenal pictures. For Furman. I've yet to get around to going and getting mine
You
done,
need to take
and
some.
I
Headshots,
know
You need to take a boudoir. Hey, you
look.
know what?
boudoir,
It's
yes.
easy.
Ooh, we're not.
Oh no,
Let's
I
do
do
a
want to
whole
do the.
review.
Okay, no, I do want to do that. So yes, I have been saying it for a while, and I have another photographer friend with A-list photography. Melvin is his name, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I really want to do these, and he was like, well, we could do them, and he was like, I was like, I my 44th birthday's coming up, and I was thinking, you know what, just to treat myself. Shut up,
Yes.
Perfect. Look at I see him shaking his.
Do
We talk about
it.
age. We talk about age on here all the time, okay? And so I was thinking, like, what
I just
better than
turned
to
41. That's still young. You know that, right?
Very young.
So yeah, he is very young, isn't he? And so
Oh wow.
and, and so I did say, like what would be a better birthday gift to myself than taking some good photos that are just to say I'm still going to rock what I got and love every bit of it, right?
Yes,
I'll
I
give
did
you
it
him.
for my 36th birthday last year. And ever since then, I've stamped myself as a boudoir model, not only a photographer, but a model. I was so good at it. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen myself this way. And I cried. I literally cried after I got my boudoir photos back. And ever since then, I've just been like, yep, I'm a boudoir model.
Look, I'm feeling it. Okay, like if and Furman will tell you, like when it comes to public speaking, no issues there for me whatsoever. I can speak to a
Yeah,
complete stranger.
yep,
Being
me
behind
too.
being behind the camera when it comes to a photo, like I'm so hard and critical on myself. It's ridiculous. And so, I keep saying I'll do it. And what's crazy is that's all that shows up through my feed, right? Is doing those kind of photo shoots. And I'm like, oh, that's being put in there for a reason. Like it's telling me your birthday's coming up. You got to get these done. So
Yes,
maybe I'll get brave enough to do it. But everybody that I know that has done it has said it's been like so inspirational just to see themselves also just in
absolutely.
that beautiful light that they should be shining
Absolutely.
in.
Yes, absolutely. And I had done a boudoir session before. The first time it was in lingerie. I was modeling for Kiki Confessions, a few of her lingerie pieces. So I had done one before, but for my birthday, I did a full nude boudoir session, and yeah, it was
Now, girl,
the
you braver
by
than
far
me.
the best.
Look,
Oh
you're braver than
yeah.
me.
Well, I have other reasons behind that too, but it's just
Look,
like
you're braver than me. Yeah, no,
just
I love it. I
so
love the confidence.
yeah,
And I think that that's something that we really, I mean, I need to practice what I preach, obviously, right? But I think that that's something that we need to be encouraging other women to love yourself, love those flaws. Every stretch mark,
absolutely.
every scar, everything that we have on our body is some kind of a battle wound that we have gone through. Just embrace it. Love us for who we are. And I do, I will tell, Furman to them, like I'll come on here looking like I've been, I don't know, out doing, I don't know what, some, like we're doing good, guys, that I'm halfway together on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And so, but I tell them all the time, like, I don't want to be, like, I still want to be real to who I am. So whether I come on here looking like
That's true.
absolute shit or I come on here looking like I have it somewhat together, I'm still me. I'm still going to
Right.
deliver the same message of what I'm passionate about. And so I don't like it to always be based on our looks, but at the end of the day, we do want to make an impression. We do want to feel good about ourselves. And so whether it's doing the headshots for your brand or if it's doing something that's just to say love yourself, I am so supportive
Absolutely.
of that.
That's a
And
beautiful
that's
thing,
who I am.
honestly.
Like I'm the same way. Like I will go around all week looking like a bum, and I'm walking my people, and I'm just looking like they just really don't know who I am. I'm really somebody out here. I just look like this today. But I do.
Hmm.
I honestly I kind of wanna send that message too, that just because you don't look like you have it together doesn't mean that you don't.
Right.
And just because you look like
Look
you
like you
do got it together
doesn't mean you
doesn't
do.
mean that you do. Absolutely, absolutely. So you never judge a book by its cover. And I do want to say that, as far as we're talking about women are concerned, we got to stop that because men, they do not worry about that stuff. They will go out in a polo shirt, some jeans, and some tennis shoes. We see, what was his name, Steve Jobs. They talk
Yeah.
about him all the time, the way he used to go around and just dress just so plain. But look at him. Look at whatever. But men do it all the
Right.
time. Like so
You know,
women, we have to
and
do
I
better.
do, but I also think that for women, we are, judged a little bit differently, right? So
Yeah,
whether,
we are.
especially in the business profession, whether or not if we have
Yeah.
too much cleavage showing, then it's, some
Yep.
people will say that we're delivering the wrong
Yep.
message. If
Uh-huh.
something's, too tight that could be somewhat of a sexy type of apparel, but really in the business apparel, then they're like, what is her real purpose? We're
Yeah.
constantly not only judging ourselves, but we're being judged 24/7. I mean, I
Yep.
recently posted, a a I guess kind of a kickback. I had gotten some feed into my Facebook Messenger about me not ever wanting to post things of like no makeup and how I'm always like trying to just post great pictures and stuff or filtered pictures. And I'm like, well, do you think that anybody else, like, do you think that people are advertising and not using something that's filtered or making sure that it looks right? But so I posted some with no makeup on, looking a complete freaking hot mess. I don't mind posting ones of me with my shit not together because the reality of it is it's not always together. And
Right.
Facebook is really fake book, okay? We're just posting what we want people to see, whether it's your perfect life or if you look like you got to get, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all going through something. And but having that confidence just to love yourself is what we really need to be doing. And women need to be lifting other women up. This whole trying to,
Absolutely.
I put on there like as my end quote to that, feedback to her was, I've never had to unscrew another person's light bulb to shine. I'm not going to sit there and belittle somebody else so that I can stand out and make a difference. Don't worry, Karma's knocked my camera down so many times. Okay,
I was looking like something's moving
uh,
around.
Karma will get up in the camera and she'll just push it down. I'll be like, hello, everybody. So no, you're good. But so I want us to try to lift each other up. And there was actually one of those photo shoots that it was like 40, you know, it's for the 40. They wanted to promote women that are 40 and above.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, maybe that's the one that I should do. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get with you, Sabrena, and let you give me that extra encouragement to do it. Maybe I'll look at Sabrena says she's now the model for it herself. She's representing. Sabrena may have to take my picture so that I know from another woman's perspective that we're going to look as hot as we can look, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I encourage people to, like, especially even for headshots or boudoir shot, whatever, bring a friend, bring somebody for encouragement, especially if you're doing a boudoir session. Bring a friend. I think that really makes a lot.
I'm going to be nervous enough doing it by my damn self, okay? So you are my friend. No, I'm saying you are my friend. I don't know if I need anybody else there judging, okay? You're going to be the photographer and the friend, okay? You are going to play all roles for me, girl.
I got you. I can do that. I got you.
I'm going to be like, as the photographer, tell me if this looks good. And I'm going to look at you and say, as my friend, tell me if this looks good.
I love it.
You know, but Desiree, you're gonna do it. You're gonna break the algorithm. You're gonna break it.
Look, every day it's growth.
You're gonna break the algorithm. So, but you know what? You're gonna do it. And like I said, I know Sabrena, you're doing great work. By the way, I know you're doing a tour. I'm seeing how things are progressing in your life as well. And I'm proud of you also. Keep doing what you're doing. We know the tour is taking the state of Texas by storm. We know you're getting a lot of responses, a lot of very testimonials about this event. You have some heavy hitters on the event, of course. People that we know, mutual friends, of course, that's been a part of the tour as well. How did this come about when it came to just the individuals, the ones you say, you know what, I want them to be on this tour? How do you go about picking the individual to be a part of this tour?
Well, I do research. I have a few women who reach out, and then I have a few women that I reach out to. So I do a little research and a little background on that particular speaker or potential speaker, and so that's just where it starts. Just seeing what they're about, what their mission, what they stand for, and seeing if their goals, values, and their mission aligns with what the tour's values and goals and mission is. And so if they match and it's a good fit, then they're a great fit for the tour. And so it's just as simple as just reaching out, making that connection, breaking the ice, introducing myself, letting them know who I am, what I offer, what we bring to the table for them, and letting them get to know us, a feel for us, researching us, and then making sure that it's a good fit for them as well.
So so we know that one's coming up June 11th in Tyler. Then you said the next one will be in the fall in Houston. Is that correct?
September in Houston.
So is there openings, like, so if there's anybody that's listening today, if they are interested in being one of the vendors at your event, is there openings that they can still reach out to you for the June one or for the one in September?
Yes. So for our upcoming tour in June, we're locked in on our guest speakers. But for vendors, of course, we're always looking for vendors, and we're always looking to add vendors to our tour, even at the last minute. So if you're listening now and you want to be a vendor for the Tyler, Texas tour, you can just head over to our website, womenwithpurposetour.com, head on over to our vendor contract page, and all the information is right there. The vendor contract, the information, what you need to bring, it's all listed on the website. The vendor prices, they're on our website, and you can sign up to be a vendor right there. If you want to be a speaker, we do have speaker spots open for Houston. We do have speakers already locked in for Houston. Shout out to Miss LD Woods of New Family and Youth Focus. She is going to be one of the speakers as well. I hope I said her brand name right. I'm so sorry if I said it wrong. Furman. I said it right, Furman, right? New Focus and Family.
Yeah, New Focus. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yes, thank you. But she's already locked in to be a speaker in Houston. We have another entrepreneur. Her name is Sonia, which LD referred. Shout out to LD because she sent me so many speakers in so little time. Like, I told her, like, I got to make you a brand ambassador. Like, we got.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about.
Yes.
It's about connecting people and encouraging people and opening up your network and your resources to other people. And now my network and my resources are opened up to the people she sent to me. And so even with our last tour in Arlington, Texas, we did an interview with Fishbowl, and shout out to Fishbowl Radio in Bedford, Texas, because they are the official media sponsor for the Men and Women with Purpose tour. Thank you, Fishbowl. But the last tour, we actually had our interview with Fishbowl, as we do always. And it was a divine connection for one of the speakers, Miss Nikija Rogers. Her brand is Optimistically Key. And she literally walked away with that after that interview with her own podcast show on Fishbowl. And it was so divine for her because she had been presented that opportunity before. And for us to be back on that platform at that time with Sammy, shout out to Miss Sammy G, owner of Fishbowl, they made a great connection. I mean, as soon as Sammy heard her voice, she was like, oh, you need to be on radio. And I had already told Nikija that too. I'm like, you have a radio voice. You're amazing. And so she's already gotten her feet wet. Every Wednesday, you can catch Nikija's podcast on Fishbowl Radio. And I'm just so excited that that reconnection was made from the Women with Purpose Tour.
And that's what it's about. It's always about networking. We say that on here all the time. That, you know, I mean, myself, I'm always on here thanking for the new faces that I get to see. You know, just even collaborating with them off of the podcast. Like, I love that because to me, that's what it's about. We have been, you know, interviewing people from Philly and Atlanta, and you know, we're constantly like, I'll be like, Furman, wait a minute, we need to hook this person up with this person, or you know, and that's so important. The networking part is so key to having a successful business. You'd never know how somebody else can benefit you. And I mean, even like with Cody that did our website, you know, Cody was a guest on the podcast and immediately, and I've got, you know, if you guys are not following Cody, definitely, what is Cody's new page?
The End Goal, that's the name of it. I'm telling you.
The End Goal, that's right.
The End Goal. And when I went to go take those pictures, Desiree, at his in Uptown Dallas, his team is awesome. Them young men on fire. They are passionate. They are team no sleep. I asked, how do y'all sleep? They said they don't sleep that long. But I love people like that has energy, that has fire, that has passion, that's all about living, all about not existing, but conquering. And them young guys are on fire. They're focused. They're purpose driven. I just love being around people right there, men or women, that's focused, locked in. And Desiree, when you meet those guys, you'll fall in love with them guys. Them guys are on point. They're professional. They're about their shit. That's what I want to say on that.
You know, he was so on it. Like, I mean, it was like we were talking that day on the podcast with him about, you know, branding and marketing and stuff. And it was like the next thing you know, Cody was on fire. He was like up and at it. He had our website up like in no time, right, Furman? Like, he was just bam, bam, bam. And I think like within the same week, Furman went and got his photos done and stuff. But, you know, if you're not following Cody on the End Goal, follow Cody. He gives some amazing advice for, you know, branding and marketing. And it's free advice. Who can complain about free advice, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely go on there, like his page, follow him. I try to share what he does. But I think that's what's important. Like, even having, you know, people that are listening to this, you know, we do this, obviously, we're interested. We want to know, especially this month of May, we're doing all the faces of, you know, Dallas. So obviously where we reside or work, it's important to even meet these new faces in the Dallas area. But we don't want you to just meet them. We want you to collaborate with them. We want to see how we can help support each other. We want to, you know, like, even like, girl, now I'm going to get my little shots done. So, you know, look, it was worth it, right? For me to have, you know, to have you on the show today and to meet with you. And so, and that's what it's about. And, you know, we need more of that. We need more of this support instead of everybody trying to bring somebody else down or in competition. We're not in competition. If we all have the same goal and focus, which is to help our communities, help each other out, you know, that's what we should be focusing and not bringing one another down.
Yeah. And when it comes in like to business, like if you're doing good business with people, you won't have to worry about somebody trying to bring you down. But if you're out here doing bad business, you're going to get brought down. And that's just from a business perspective, because there are people out here doing bad business, and they need to be brought down. So, but I'm glad to know that you guys had a great experience with Cody. I think I have just seen him on Facebook. I haven't connected with him yet, but I have seen him on Facebook, and it's good to know that he's well versed and well developed in what he does, because I actually referred someone to someone else to get their website developed, and it was a reflection on me, and I trusted that person that they would get it done, but they dropped the ball, and I'm like, what? Oh my God, you dropped the ball. I could have done their website for that person, but you're the expert in website development, so you say. And so you'll never get a referral from me again. But now I know I need to reach out to Cody, because I need a strong web developer that I can refer to, because there are a lot of upcoming entrepreneurs who need a great website. And
Most
that is where the initial contact may take place for a lot of people, when consumers are running across your website and you have a bad website, or it's hard to understand what your goal is, or your mission, or your product is. So I'm gonna definitely get his information and maybe try to connect with him and try to bring him on my resource team, because I need a strong web developer.
And what I love about Cody is that time management. Like, he makes it a priority. You know, you have some people that you can even refer to,
Yes,
and they'll like, oh, I'll get back to you. Oh,
and
and
that's
then
what
you're
that
like,
person did.
yes, and you're waiting, and you're like,
Yeah,
I need this up and running now. And
yep,
I think that that's one of the things that I love about Cody's passion is he was like, you need this website up, Furman, let's do it. Like, let's get it up.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, I still need, like I said, to go do my headshots and other shots, so that way we can have our pages. I let Furman do these
Hmm.
like photo editing of putting me into into some of our advertisement there, but I really do need to go get it done and quit procrastinating. I need to just
yeah.
balls up and go. And so,
You know your lunch break. I'm off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
I
I know you
know.
work
Look at
And invest in them. And the good thing about a great headshots is that if you invest at one time, you only need them. I mean,
yeah.
I've had mine now, maybe, I think I've had them maybe a little over a year. They're still good. I don't probably need to take more headshots, probably take more next year, but your headshots are going to be good for a long time. So it's an investment you can
I
make,
know.
get it out of the way, and then boom, you've got headshots you can use. That is one of the things that I'm going to come out and say it. It irks me as an entrepreneur and a photographer when I do run across certain speakers who
Don't
don't
come
have
at me.
headshots. It irks me, because it's a reflection on my brain too. So if I'm asking you to be a speaker or something like that, and you don't have headshots, and I have to skim through your page to find a picture, then just come get these headshots from me then, honey. So that's why part of the tour, what we've done as far as our sponsors, is we give them headshots. If you're a speaker, then we're going to give you professional headshots, whether it's outdoor, indoor studio. We're going to take some pictures so you can have some headshots or some nice photos for you to take with you and start using them. And so I've seen a lot of the entrepreneurs, they've been using some of the photos, they've been posting them and using them on flyers and things like that. So I'm super excited. Like, it works. The system that I put in place for the tour, it's working for myself, it's working for the speakers. They're getting great benefits outside of the tour. And I love every aspect that we've created now, because we took a revamp last year. A lot of the stuff that we're doing, they weren't in play. So I want to encourage any entrepreneur out there that if you feel stuck, take a step back and maybe look at everything that you're doing. And you might need to revamp, you might need a rebranding, you might need to restructure. And that's exactly what we had to do. And that was the absolute best thing that we could have done to the tour, was take that 6-month break that we did last year, come back strong this year, and now we revamped, and we're stronger and better than ever. So
Yeah, and it's not even just for this podcast. Like obviously, so my full time job. I feel like everything's a full time job right now, but my paid full time job is working with the city attorney's office for the city of Dallas. I run our veterans treatment court, so of course I'm always out in the community. And yes, it would be great to have headshots for that. But then also with this podcast, as well as I do another veteran podcast called Coffee and Community once a month. This next week, actually, I will do with another lady who has the She Vets It, and that's she, and then VETS. It's a veteran, and she has a veteran podcast. So I'll be on there. And she even sent me a message the other day, and she said, "I need your headshot in your bio." And I was like, "Shit, here we go." Don't even laugh, Herman. I know I'm like, shit. I was like, okay, I don't know. And so, but and then I also, with the board of 100 Men Enterprise. So he's always putting out our, yeah. So he's always putting our, and we were, that's actually how I met Furman, is we came on here a couple months ago as a guest on the show. And so, but he, he's always like headshots. And so, and then of course there's like, so also with, I'll have to give a shout out to everybody. I can't just do one or two, right, Furman? So administrative director for marriage management, which is for veterans as well. And then New Life Opportunities with Commissioner Dr. Elba Garcia. And so I am on that board. And so, and then of course, Heroes Rise Alliance. So when I say in the community and actively participating, and they're always headshots, and I still...
You better get you some.
Headshots in. You gotta get them headshots in. Everybody gotta get them headshots in.
I know. Look at, and what's so ridiculous, I will call myself out on this, right, is that I have so many amazing photographers. Yourself, Cody, Melvin with A-List Photography, even, Frederick with JFL, Productions. He said, I'll do it. Like, I have all these wonderful people saying, I will do these headshots for free. Just come get these headshots. And I still don't. Like, do you know how lucky I am to go get headshots for free and I still don't do the shit?
Yes. I get it though. I mean, what do you have to do? You got to do your hair, you got to do your makeup, you got to find clothes, you got to make sure your shoes are right, you got to make sure you still got to put in the effort to get those free shots. So I get.
And then you got to be feeling confident and feeling yourself right. You got to know that what you have on looks good. I'm like, for guys, they're like, all right, let me just put this shit on. I look good. They can put on a suit and like, damn, like you clean up nice. Women, we're not like that. Like, is the bra holding up my titties good enough?
Right.
And then so no lie, Frederick that I met on this show when we had the cut up crew on here, immediately, I had a charity event. I asked him to come do photos for that, and he took a photo with myself and some of the Texas Veteran Commission people that I work very closely with, and he sent me like the picture, and I said, Frederick, like, why do my titties look so like my titties look pointy? Like, why could you not have smoothed them, like balance the body or some shit? Like, I am like, but I am very judgmental, right? But those are the things that women go through when we're doing these photos, okay? Does our cleavage look like cleavage or does it look like an ass? Okay, we judge those kind of things. Dudes, no, they don't have that. They're like, damn, I look good. You're like, yeah, okay, you got it done in one shot. Screw you.
I get it, like, and I'm top heavy, so as y'all can see,
girl, that's why I sit differently on the camera, so that you can't see how top heavy. I sit to where my body doesn't show how big my tatas are on this camera. Okay.
And so when I'm taking pictures, that, like you just said, that's like the first thing I'm like, dang, my boobs are just too big. Like, shrink them down a little bit, but actually the other day I was with a couple of entrepreneurs and we were working on some skits, and I had to pull one of the ladies to the side, and I'm like, fix them up.
Right.
Fix them up a little bit.
I'm constantly
thank you.
Is your boob falling out of that bra? You find a really good bra, but then you're like, so then you're sitting there adjusting yourself, right? You're like, hold on just a second. Do they look even? Like, these are things,
Yeah.
Furman, you boys will never have to worry about. Y'all are not adjusting,
Never, never,
like you're not
never.
having to adjust that kind of stuff. Women, we're like, why does this one tit look a little saggier than the other? Why does this, like, why do I now look like I've got a uniboob? Like, we are worried about these kind of things, Furman. Like, this is why women get so paranoid when it comes to, and you guys wonder why we make sure that we have the best edited photos put out there on social media. This is why. And because and what's sad is it's not the men that are judging. They're not ever looking and saying,
Oh no, they
well,
don't
damn.
care.
No, they don't give a shit what we look like. It's the other women that are coming at us, which is so sad.
Yep.
And even when you're looking your damn best, there's still going to be those hating, salty women that will still criticize how you look, right?
Yeah.
It never fails.
It never fails. It never fails. I just want to mention too. I gotta quote this thing from my favorite artist of all time, Jay-Z. Jay-Z said
Always.
this: "The goal is not to be successful and famous; it's to live your life to your talent." And I know, Sabrina, you're all about that. It's all about living your life to your talent. We all have a gift. The Bible said that God gave us a gift. God made room for us. And I know you're a big advocate on that. Living a successful life, living a life that you be proud of. Not living a suck life. You get what I'm saying? But living a life that's worth meaningful. I remember years ago when I went back home in Mobile, and I went to a men's conference at church, and a young entrepreneur, always he was encouraging me and always die empty. When he said always die empty, utilize everything that God gave you to fulfill here on earth. So when you pass on, you have nothing bear with you because you utilize everything in you. And maybe think about that and breaking the algorithm where you want to have a successful life, right? You want to have a life that's worth meaningful and have that message carry on to whom you come in contact with. And that's what it's all about, right? Doing extraordinary things and help other people become extraordinary. Because to be real, everybody want to be in a position where they can go here, do that. Go out of town. Not just say, hey, let's plan to go out of town, but bam, you got the money to do it, right?
Right.
So that's what people want. And that's what people look at, what they desire, but they had a fear of stepping out on faith, not believing in themselves. What do you say about that?
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, a lot of people do, and a lot of people aren't living in fear. They just don't have the support.
Yes.
Or they're with the wrong spouse or the wrong person in life, and they have all these aspirations and all these dreams and all this stuff just wanting to pour out of them, but you have somebody in your ear over here not encouraging you, forcing you to do certain things or bring you here or whatever the case may be. I think that a lot of people just need to break away from their circle and develop a new circle. And I think once people do that, I think just that fear that they thought they had, or that hold that they're something that was holding on to them, the people around them, it just will all go away. I mean, I know personally that's what I had to do. Once I broke away from the person in my life that was just holding me back from the success that was urging through me, I became more successful than ever. While my personal life was here and has been here maybe for the last year, my brand has been slowly but surely taking off. And that's because I had to break away from the person that was holding me back in life. And once you do that, you'll just flourish.
And I think that's important. You got to find your tribe, right? You got to find the tribe that is there to support you and uplift you.
Did y'all both freeze up? I'm sorry. It had froze up a second. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I was saying that's the whole thing, is like finding your tribe, finding the tribe that is, that is going to support you. We want to all be able to live and leave with memories, not regrets. And I think absolutely. that's something that being in a good circle, if you have somebody that's not supportive of you, then, put them in a different circle, play with that circle later or something. But you need somebody that's going to be encouraging. And like, that's one of the wonderful things I will tell you, like some of our past guests between, Haisha, Rebecca, Kelly Morgan, out of Atlanta, like and Rebecca's in, Tennessee, that tribe, even though they're not here locally, they have been so supportive since being on this show with us. Rebecca just tagged me, Furman, in a post about how they're having one of the competitions in Dallas in August. And Rebecca's like, do it, Desiree. I'm here for you. I'm going to support you, whatever you need. And I'm like, Rebecca done lost her damn mind. Okay. Like, now, if they want me to speak, I can speak. But if you think I'm about to get up there looking all trying to be cute and confident, that doesn't happen with me. And so, but the love that the support she gives, like she is my sister from I don't know where. We don't share the DNA, but we share some DNA somewhere. I'm telling you, she is definitely a good soul sister for me. And even, Haisha is amazing. I don't know. Did you get to see when she was on the show? Do you know Haisha?
I haven't met her. I didn't see it.
Amazing, beautiful inside and out. Is she not, Furman? Like, isn't she just a beautiful soul?
Yeah, she's hungry. She's hungry because when I reached out to her about doing the interview, she was willing to do it that same week. That's how serious she was about about what she's doing. You come across people who procrastinate, but you got some who's down and dirty. And I respect her, Desiree, for that because she would say, "Hey, let's do it this week." It wasn't next week. It wasn't 2 weeks from now. She had, let's do it this week, so I gotta give her props for that.
And I'll have to tag you, and so you'll be able to follow her, Sabrena, and see
Please do.
And what I love, this is probably what I love so much. We get to hear the backstories of how everybody started, where that passion came from. Even with Anthony Amos in Chicago, he started wanting, like, he actually had this little itch from childhood of being this artist for these shoes. And then now watching him doing it and giving back to the community, giving back to the youth that are, underprivileged there in Chicago, like seeing his work is phenomenal. And so, and then just even like, with, Haisha, who had lost her mother she had lost. And then, here she had this, small child. We've got, COVID, all this stuff going on. So then she started designing stuff out of her home and she's thriving. It's those kind of stories that, that makes it even more special when you guys come on the show for us, is that we get to hear how that journey started and then just watching that journey just bloom. For me, that's what is so exciting. I'm just, I'm corny like that. So
you just have
I am too. Where are you from, Desiree? I love your accent.
You know what? That's sweet of you to say, because I literally will message Furman. I'll be like, I sounded so redneck.
You do, but I love it.
No, it's Furman all the time. Like, I say Furman, like, I go back and I listen to our podcast, and I'm like, I know people are like, "Who is that country bunking?"
You know what? No, I just really hear that you spicy. Somebody told me the other day you spicy.
I love your accent. So.
I do tell him all the time. Like, I tell him, I'm not feisty, I'm spicy. Like, I get a little bit, I get a little bit of, But so originally born in California, lived in Texas most of my life. I just spent 2 years in Montana on a, ending veteran homelessness there in the Northern Rockies. So I was there for 2 years, been back here for 3 years now, back to Texas because I had my first little granddaughter. She'll be 2 in June. She's beautiful.
Granddaughter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, she is like the most like adorable thing. I will do this really quick. Not that I ever post her up on here, but I mean, tell me that's not the most beautiful thing y'all have ever seen in your entire life. Look at that. Is she not the cutest thing ever? And so, yes, I went from almost 2 years ago now, went from MILF to GILF is what I like to say. I'm trying to own it. I'm trying to own it. I'm trying to own this grandma thing right now. I'm trying to beg the other one to give me.
Because you do not look like it at all.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. See, even more why I need to have that little sexy photo shoot, right?
Yes. And then you should do that MILF to GILF.
MILF to GILF. I know, right? That's should be my. But I would totally do that as a little tagline thing, MILF to GILF. But I'm sure I'll get some haters on that one too, right? But trying to convince the oldest one to give me a grandbaby too before I get too much older. I'm like, oh, don't you want your niece to have somebody to play with? And he's just like, I don't know. I got this little grandbaby fever going on right now. So, but so been here in Texas. I mean, you might as well say, I consider myself from California. I will always consider myself from California, but Texas for a very long time. And so I don't reside in Dallas. I just, work in Dallas. So I make that wonderful commute in that ridiculous traffic all the time. And so recently, moved to the Greenville area. And so,
Oh, okay.
but I was in Lamar County. So I was in Paris but going through traffic, you're talking about 3 hours in, 3 hours home every day.
Wow.
And
What?
yeah, yeah. So
Why
I
don't you
love
just
it.
move to Dallas?
Because I work because I work in Dallas and I don't want to look at it. I'm like I can't be following all these codes. I'd be getting code violations out the ass. Okay, like
You know
my
what? That is, I do like the country for that reason.
yeah. You know what? If I want
Kind
to
of
sit
used to it.
outside around a
Yeah,
little fire and drink me some
yeah,
cold ones, like I don't want somebody
yeah.
putting some limitations on me. And
It's
so,
true.
like plus it's kind of like an escape away from your everyday life with the city. I'm so much there in the city, so it kind of gives me that little decompression of not
Yeah.
residing there in the city. But I say one day I will. I'll be Sex in the City one day, and so but. One day, look at I made a post the other day, talking about boobs. I made a post just yesterday that about how the Lord didn't bless me with an ass because He knew I wouldn't act right, and I said, and then that's probably exactly why, right there. Okay, He'd be like, no, she'd be out getting herself in some trouble. But no, I'm not
Mm.
that confident. I'm not that Furman. I'm not that girl. I don't. He knows I'm not confident to be that person getting myself in any kind of trouble like that. So
Well, we could be bad girls one weekend out of the year. That's okay.
look it'll be Lady D in Dallas, right? Lady D does Dallas. He
I like
likes to
that, Lady
he
D.
he likes to call me Lady D, so I'll be like
I
Lady
like
D.
that.
Lady D does
Uh-oh.
Dallas. No, y'all don't give me any kind of bad ideas.
Uh-oh. I ain't, anyway. There's another broadcast.
Furman will be finding me locked up in his county jail. Furman will be like, I know her.
Not my work at. Don't come down my work at. Please don't.
Oh,
Please don't. Don't.
I'll be like, Furman, can you sneak me a phone? I need to do the podcast today.
Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. But don't do that. But you know what? But all that, I know Sabrina, you got the tour going on. And I know that we're going to take a quick commercial break too. Then we'll
Yes.
come right back into our conversation with Miss Sabrina Ford, of course. And after the commercial break, we're going to talk more about the tour. And you got the podcast, you got the photograph, and I know some other stuff you got going on as well. So we love to hear about it. So after this commercial break, we're going to jump right back in our conversation with Sabrina Ford. We'll be right back, everybody. We are back here on Walking This Way's Impact Force podcast. Of course, I am Furman Jackson Jr. I'm the founder, the CEO of Walking This Way's Impact Force podcast. We're based here in the DFW. That is Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. For those who want to know what that means, we are back here with the founder, the owner of the Women with Purpose Tour. She's the podcast host of Hidden Images podcast, based here in the DFW. She's a boudoir photographer as well. Very extraordinary woman, a woman I know on the back end, of course, outside the podcast, hung out, talk. Great spirit about you, Sabrina. You're always the same, you're always consistent, and I respect you for that as well. And you're just passionate about what you're doing. And I know the tour is taking off. Like I said, getting extraordinary testimonies about the tour. When the tour took place in Arlington, the response, how was it after it was all over with on that after that day? How did you just take it all in, and how was that experience after it was over with?
yeah, we definitely had to take it all in after the Arlington tour because, as I said earlier, we after the Fort Worth tour, which was last July, we took a revamp. So from July up until this past March, Nadia and I, my COO, we were behind the scenes, putting in work to make the tour better, to bring more value, to bring more aesthetics. Um, so this past tour in March, the reviews have been great. They've been phenomenal. We've had more people reaching out. I want to be a part of the tour. I love what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I want to be a part of the tour. And actually, this upcoming tour, I have one of my friends. I went to middle school with her, I went to high school with her, and I didn't even know. This is why it's so important to understand that people are watching, even though you may not know they're watching, because I didn't know that she was watching what everything that we're doing with the tour. And deep down inside, she wanted to be a part of the tour. I saw a post that she made about her battling a certain situation and coming out of it. And so I reached out to her because that aligns with the tour. And I want her to be a speaker. So I reached out and told her, look, you'd be a great fit for the tour. You should speak. You should tell your story on our platform. And after that, it's just conversation after conversation after conversation. She wants to be a speaker. I'm branding her as a motivational speaker. She's joining the tour. She's joining July's tour, June's tour, and she's also joining us in Houston in September. So you never know who's watching you. You never know who wants to be a part of what you're doing. You do have people that are supporting you. They may just be afraid, so it's okay to reach out to people and ask for support back. It's okay to reach out and ask for the sale. I always tell people to ask for the sale. I'm never afraid to reach out and just ask for their business, even if it's being on my podcast, being a part of the tour, or you need headshots. Like, I will jump in your inbox and I will ask you for your business. And so, like I said, the tour is taking off. I even had a conversation with another friend, and she and I, we were crying, and she wants to be a part of the tour. She's like, I just don't know where to start. And I'm like, this is where you start with this
Yeah.
conversation. This conversation alone. Now, what I do, I'm gonna push you now. Now you're a part of the tour. You're already a part of the tour. Don't even worry about that part. Now we just need to find a tour date for you so you can speak. And to any of my friends that are watching, you are a part of the tour. Just come on. I'm gonna let you speak. We went to school together. This platform is for you. And I literally posted that the other day. Like, I want my friends to benefit from what I'm doing. Everything that I do with the tour is not for me. Yes, I'm the founder, but I do not act like it. I don't treat anybody any differently. I don't move differently, even with my COO. Like, she's the bad cop and I'm the good cop when it comes to to running the tour. And I like it like that. I actually need that, because every day, my personality, I'm happy go lucky. So when people, I'm learning about myself. I'm happy go lucky every day. So when I have to be stern, or when I have to be, um, yeah, sometimes I have to be a little stern in business, people perceive it wrong. It's like, oh, Sabrena, you changed. What happened? Are you okay? Are you mad at me? No, this is business right now. Like, I have to be stern with you right now because it's business. But because I'm always just so happy go lucky, it's hard for people to accept that. So that's where my COO Nadia comes in. I let her be bad cop, and that's just her demeanor. Like, well, she's not a bad person or anything like that, but when you meet her, you'll understand she's a very strong, opinionated person with everybody. She doesn't treat anybody any differently. So when you meet her, you understand that off the top. But when you meet me, it's like, oh, happy go lucky off the top. So when I kind of have to flip the script a little bit, then it's like, oh, Sabrena,
Yeah, it
what
throws
happened?
people off, right?
It throws them off. And I'm like, I'm okay. You're okay. I just have to get business done. But I really want all of my friends to understand this is for you. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. Don't be afraid to want to be a part of the tour. It's for you. If you've never spoken before, this is perfect for you. We're like mini TED Talks here. I like to compare the tour to TED Talks. And I literally watch TED Talks all the time. I love TED Talks. And so this is what we're doing. We're creating this platform where first time speakers can come in and get their feet wet with speaking. And I'm going to help you push to to doing whatever else you want to do. So shout out to Kay Rigsby. She is going to be one of the speakers on the tour. She's from Texarkana, Texas. She has a powerful story to tell. And I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited for her to share it. And I'm excited that she's passionate and ready to share it now, and that she and I are able to connect all these years after not being, not connecting, and just life just takes us apart. But just for us to be able to rekindle on my platform is amazing.
And that's what's so important is some people don't realize they have that. Sorry, they don't realize they have that gift to actually speak and be able to talk about what they're doing because they don't know
Yeah.
where to start or they don't have
Yep.
that confidence. I like to
Hmm.
say have that godfidence. God is with
Oh,
you.
I
Like,
love it.
yes. So I'm like, carry confidence with you. Don't, it's not about,
Confident.
yes. So, as long as you've got him in your corner, and we all do, you can do great things. You just got to believe in yourself. And, even before I go and do, like speaking, like when I'm doing a presentation somewhere, I'm always about saying, like, I say my little prayer and I'm just like, God, just be with me. Make sure that the
Yeah.
words that come out of my mouth are those of wisdom, those that are of accurate and honesty, like be kind, because, and that's the thing is sometimes when you go somewhere, you're going to have that kickback of somebody who's going to question your purpose, right? Or
Right.
that's going to try to put you on the spot. You got people that just want to be messy. And so I'm like, just let me have the confidence to get through this.
I
And
like it.
so I am always about confidence instead of confidence. But and really, I love that you guys allow that for these women to come and speak at this conference, because once they get up there and they see like what they are capable of, it's just getting over that fear, that first time of
Yeah.
doing that hurdle.
Yes.
And I tell, so I like anybody else that does like outreach in with our city and stuff, they're like, you are like, you will just speak about things as if like it's nothing. And I'm like, here's the other thing: be confident in what you're also speaking about. If you're just speaking about it to
Absolutely.
speak about it, it's not going to be interesting. It's not going to
Right.
flow as naturally. When you are confident about what you are trying to put out there, it should be like
Right.
having a conversation with one of your girlfriends. So when
Right.
I'm out speaking about what our veterans treatment court or what our community court, our drug court does, I'm confident in knowing that what we do in our courts is making a difference for the community. So I'm speaking as your friend. You need to be a part of this. As your friend, let us
Yeah.
help you. And so it's
Hmm.
not hard for me to get out
Yeah.
there and talk about what I do. And so I think that that's just really a blessing that you're allowing these, individuals to have that platform, to also be surrounded by support, and then also new people that have not had that same, courage to get up and do it. So you're not alone. It's like you're all doing this together. We're going to make it through it, together. And I think that's amazing. I think we need that because so many people are afraid of public
Absolutely.
speaking. Not me, on the other hand.
Mhm. Yeah. And I've never been afraid to speak in front of people. I've always been the person that just easy, just go up to people, talk to them. Hey, how you doing? I'm Sabrina. That's always been so easy for me. I never thought about myself as being a public speaker until I actually did it. And I actually want to give a shout out to Coach Shay because, man, when I say Coach Shay came and killed it this past March, she killed it. And that was her first time speaking, and she went up there and was amazing from start to finish. And so I have to give her flowers as well. Shout out to Coach Shay. She did an amazing job, and she's more than welcome to come back and speak on any tour that we have. And I'm excited to see her step and walk into her journey as a speaker as well.
Doesn't she just have such a fun energy to her? And she
Yeah.
just keeps the shit real for you.
Yep.
Like, she's
Yep.
not BSing you on stuff. Like, I vibe with her so well when she's on here with us because she is very truthful about what she speaks. And you can see
Absolutely.
that, she's not on there feeding you some BS. And I love that she wants to also help others. I love it. I love Ursula on here. Ursula may not have a chance to say as much when Coach Shay and I are on here together, but I'll tell you what, that woman is so supportive. She is knowledgeable, and sometimes it's those quiet ones that you can actually learn a lot from.
Yeah, that's true.
Why are you laughing at
That's
me,
hey,
Furman?
I'm just having a good time.
Look, are you laughing because I got these back? Look at, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting here thinking I need to be doing like my little eye bag thing before I come on these shows, like this little.
See, there you go. There you go. I ain't say nothing about it. See, you pointed that out.
Look
See, there
at.
you go.
Do you see that? Do you see that? That's a lack of sleep right there. That's a lack of sleep.
Man, you even put me in that trap. But anyway, um, I know Sabrina, how has it been working behind the scenes with the individuals they've been working with on this show? How has the work been behind the scenes? Working with different people from different walks of life when it comes into the business world. So how has the atmosphere being behind the scenes working with the individuals?
It's great. It's a learning process. I mean, I have ran into some entrepreneurs who are about their business, who are doing what they say that they're doing. Their mission lines with their actions, and then I've ran into entrepreneurs who have dropped the ball. So it's like a balance. But once you continue to learn more about entrepreneurship and the way you want to work, and you understand the people that you want to work with, then you know how to how to weed people out. Okay, well, this person really isn't about who they say they are, so I'm just not going to do business with them anymore. Or this person is about who they say they are, so I know I need to continue to do great business with this person. It's just been a learning process of who I am and who I'm developing myself as an entrepreneur, and then do my mission align with this person's mission or this entrepreneur's mission. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Um, we do our business, we keep moving, or we do great business and we continue to do great business together.
And we talk about it on here all the time about just needing that consistency and not expecting that instant gratification. Like, so many people will, start a business and then it starts to not, maybe it doesn't flourish as quickly as they expected, and so then
Yeah,
they're so quick to give up on themselves, and it could be a great mission, it could be something that is so
yeah,
needed in the community, but they get so discouraged. And we're always on here saying, like, you can't expect great things to come to you, without that hard work behind it. So you've got to stay
right.
consistent. You got to be persistent in wanting. Like, Furman and I will be messaging at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't think
Hmm.
either of us ever sleep, and we're messaging business stuff, back and forth to each
Yeah,
other. And
yeah,
and I know sometimes he probably thinks, does she sleep? And I say the same thing, does he sleep? But we're like, we're going to sleep later. We've got to get this stuff done.
yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
and it is about that. Sometimes you have to put in that struggle to get that reward, but people just want it handed to them. People are in this mindset of, fame overnight, or, like, well, I had a great idea. How come it's not booming? How come I'm not a millionaire off of that? How much passion have you put behind it? How much work? How many sleepless nights? If you want it to be great, you're going to have to make an effort to get it there.
Yeah,
And sadly, there's a lot of people that we see that just don't do that.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know
that's
that's
so
right.
true.
Because I just like this past, matter of fact, last month, when they had the NFL draft, I posted on the page. I know I was proud of young men who, think about it, them young men invested time from park ball, middle school ball, high school, college. And you always had somebody want to come negative something to say. Oh, they may not have it all, they may lose it, whatever. You don't say nothing like that. I'm very proud of those young men. They change their family tree forever. They get generational wealth. One lady commented, "Oh, that's just income." That's kind of stuff I be talking about. I'm happy for other people. Y'all gonna have somebody come in with something negative because they jealous and envy. Just be proud of those young men because they changed their family tree forever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like stuff like that. Stop hating on people. Be proud of them.
We like, that's one thing, like, we try to share, like, I think almost everybody that's part of this podcast shares and supports anything that anybody else posts. We're
I don't.
constantly, you don't share other people's stuff.
Oh, wait. What do you mean? Repeat that.
Like,
Hold on.
like how I shared your event on my social media, like, supporting you by sharing it to my feed, the event that's coming up in Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
got
we're
you.
real
Yes.
big. We're real big about sharing. Baby, I'm talking about sharing nothing else.
I thought I misunderstood. I thought you. I
We
thought
don't
what you
share.
said was
We are close, baby, on this
because I don't
podcast, but we are
support
not that close.
everything. I don't
Look
support
at
everything. Let
no,
me say.
no, but like if we see a good cause, we're like, let's
Yes,
support it. Let's
yes,
help that
yes.
person. And I, and I say this, like in Daquan, he's constantly sharing people from all
He
over,
is. Yeah,
he is, I don't know, I'm surprised Facebook hasn't just shut him down because he shares so much. Like he is
yeah.
supportive of any and everybody's business. And I'm constantly, people I don't know, I share it. I don't know who's going to see it. It's not like I have a lot of followers, but if it hits one follower that it could change their life, I'm going to share it
Right.
so that it could be out there. And I think that that's something that is needed. Like, and it's a free thing, right? It doesn't cost me anything to push share, even if I don't have anything that I can caption it with. Daquan comes up with these amazing captions about supporting people. I'm like, and he does all these great emojis. I'm like, share, because sometimes I may not. I will read it and I'll say this sounds like a really great event, so I'll hit share. But it's free, and I was like saying this last night. I went out to try a different restaurant, and I'm like, I'm taking pictures of the food, and I'm like, I share my reviews on their page or whatever. I always write a review to new places that I try, and I'm like, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. But if you can go on there and you can say something great, people are reading those reviews. But the company itself or the restaurant, no matter what it is that you go to, they appreciate that, even though they don't know you, and it's free. Like, why are we not supporting each other, especially when it doesn't cost you anything to do it?
Right. And
And
I
but
want to add to that really quick. When you mention reviews, I want people, especially entrepreneurs and business owners, to understand that bad reviews are still good too. Just depending on if they're outlandishly lying about it or if it's truly a legitimate bad review. If it's a legitimate bad review and you drop the ball on some type of service or a product or something, then that's still a good review because that gives you an opportunity to fix the problem that's going on in your brand, especially if it's consistently being that bad review, or make it right with that customer. And then maybe that customer will follow up and say, well, I did have a bad experience, but the manager reached out to me and rectified the experience. And now I'm going to be trying this restaurant again. And I know that the service will be better next time, or whatever the case may be. So, good reviews and bad reviews are still good reviews. Take those bad
yes,
reviews, reflect on your brand, and fix whatever the problem or the situation is at hand. And you won't have to worry about that type of bad review again. You're
and the thing
always
about
going to
those,
get bad reviews,
in
though.
anything we
It's
do,
just going to
right?
happen.
Yes,
Yes,
in
it's
anything
going
you
to
do, you're
happen.
gonna have bad reviews, and
You're going
and
to
I
have
think
it.
that it's how you handle that review, right? And
That's it.
that's what I love, is like, I'll read where, like, if somebody says something negative, and then I'll see where, like, the restaurant or whatever has responded back to what they say, and that
Yeah,
tells me everything. I don't care how crappy that review might have been.
yeah,
I will always read and see how that manager or representative handled that review to know whether or not, if that's a place that I would want to go. So if they're on there and they, get defensive, or they
yeah,
are also feeding into that negativity, instead of just owning your shit and saying,
yep,
I apologize, even if you don't agree
yep,
with what that review says, that's
yep.
the professional way to handle it. And
That
that's the
is.
thing is, and it's that way in life about everything, right? So you can't control how other people are to act, but you can control how you react. That defines your character. They've already put theirs out there. You have to make sure that you're handling yourself with class and grace.
Yeah. And I want to add to that too, that, about reviews. Sometimes reviews could be a great way to generate another stream of income in your brand. So let me give you an example. So the last tour that we had in March at the International Bowling Museum, well, any tour that we have, we don't care if kids come out. But this last tour, it was more intimate setting, and we had children there, and some of the children were having fun. Maybe they cried a little bit, which is it's all okay. It's not a problem. But we had a review come in that said, "Hey, the tour was great. We loved everything about it. We had a great time. But perhaps next time, why don't you have the children in a separate section so that everybody can enjoy the speakers? And if you need one, I'll volunteer to do it." And so I took that review and I was like, wow, we do need to do that. We need to implement child care services during our events. And so that review has led to us creating a whole nother stream of income. We're going to start bringing in people to have other child care services there at the events. We're going to start adding that onto ticket prices. So that was a great review. It's leading to money. Like,
Right.
reviews are money. Take them and spend them and make it align with your brand, fix it up, whatever you need to do with those reviews. You can turn reviews into money because clients will make suggestions that, I think I do need to start doing that, or I need to implement that. And now we're going to implement those child care services, and now we're going to make money. And guess what? That's an opportunity that I'm giving to another entrepreneur to come in and run that particular brand inside the tour is our youth tour, because now we're going to start that. Now we're going to sell those tickets to where people can have childcare services. Somebody's going to come in and run it because I don't have the time to run it. So that just gave somebody else a position inside the tour, and it's just a win-win.
And that's the thing, we talk about it a lot too, about how people are so quick to want to be defensive. You don't want
Yeah.
to, you don't, hear what people are, you're not listening to what somebody's saying. You're automatically, as soon as, like, if I was to come, ask you, Sabrina, and I would say, Sabrina, I want to talk to you about what happened. And then automatically in your head, and I'm not saying you do it, I'm just using an example,
Yeah.
right? You're already trying to think of how you're going to defend at whatever I'm coming at you for, instead of listening to what it is and then trying to actually grow from that. We are so quick to feel like when we're under attack, let's speak. It's that way in relationships. It's that way in friendships. It's that way in business. If somebody says, I don't like the way, automatically when you hear I don't like, you're trying to think, okay, how am I going to defend this? Instead of just owning it. Maybe your staff was shitty. So let's talk about it. How are we going to keep from having that continue? But if you're so quick to be like, well, my staff would never, my staff is that,
Right.
then guess what? You've just hurt yourself even more. And that review has gone someplace else, because now where that person might have came to you as a person to say, hey, let's talk about it.
Yep.
Now they're going to go back and say, I tried to talk to Sabrina about how her staff spoke to me the other day. She got on, now that person's gossiping to that person. You say, when you tell one, you actually tell what, like 7, because those people
Yep.
go off and tell other people. And so you really
That's
have to
true.
be very mindful of how you're handling yourself and not feeling like you're under attack. And here's the best
Yeah.
part. And I say this, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean you have to agree with their opinion, but that's one of the beauties of life, right? Is like you can learn from somebody's opinion. You could choose to ignore somebody's opinion, but who's to say my opinion is more valid than somebody else's? And the greatest thing is, if you'll stop and just listen, you might actually be more open-minded to being like, you're right. Kind of like how you said about the philosophy class, right? Like you might be like, well, damn, I didn't ever think of it that way. But if we're so closed-minded and we're just so stuck in our own way that we don't want to grow, you're not going to be able to help, enrich your knowledge of something. There's so many times where I'll be like, I didn't think of it like that. I'm glad that you took the time to explain it to me. And so, but you have so many individuals that are like, no, they think they live in this perfect thing. And it's that ego. It's really just that ego, to be honest with you. You got to swallow that. What do we say? What do I say all the time? You better stay humble, right, Furman? You got to stay humble, though. And really, when you're trying to get as an entrepreneur, as a, influencer, whatever it is, you better keep your ass humble if you want to keep yourself growing. Okay. Because you start acting cocky and self-centered about things, people are going to see that. That's not a good way to continue to get your followers or to grow your business.
Yeah.
That's true.
When I used to work at KFC in high school, this acronym that they always used to use for dealing with an unhappy customer, it stuck with me. And so the acronym is LAST, LAST, which stands for listen, apologize, satisfy, and thank. So when you do have an angry customer or an upset customer, like you just said, the first thing you need to do as a business owner or that entrepreneur is you need to listen to what they're saying. really listen to them. Apologize for the situation, regardless if you think you're at fault or not. Apologize for their experience that they had. And then you satisfy them by rectifying the experience. Yes, if it's offering them freebies, offering them a free meal. We see it all the time when we go to restaurants. If your food is bad or if something happens, you're going to get that meal replaced, a free meal, a gift card, or something because they want you to come back so that they can rectify the situation. And then after you listen, apologize, and you satisfy that customer, you thank them. You thank them for bringing that to your attention. Why? So it doesn't happen again. Now you know that this situation happened. You can take that information, go talk to your staff. Hey, we need to have a training meeting. This happened. We had a particular client and this situation happened. So now we need to talk about it so that way it doesn't happen again. So listen, apologize, satisfy, and thank. If y'all can remember that every time you're dealing with an upset customer, then you won't have any issues going forward.
I agree. Because the last thing you want is those. It's one thing when you have like a bad review, but then when it's somebody that's you have multiple reviews that are all complaining about the same thing, then
Yes.
the problem's not being fixed.
Yep.
And so,
Exactly.
yes, and so I think that's what you need. And here's my thing: is don't promise something you can't deliver.
Yep.
And if you give your word on something, follow through with it. Like I feel like that's so important too. And we say that all the time. Like when it comes to people are always like, oh, I want to be on a podcast, right? Furman, like, oh, I want to be on this, and then it's like when it comes showtime, where the hell are you?
Where are you at?
Right. And so we're like, but it all sounds good. It all sounds good until they see like the work that goes behind it. And, and Furman does a lot of that, I mean, obviously he's the one who's the man behind the show. He literally will send me the guest and I do my homework on trying to immediately start following like social media, seeing what that person's about, how they're carrying themselves, what they have been doing. I mean, like immediately, I think whenever I saw that you were going to be on the show, because I had him give me the whole lineup for the month of May. So I immediately started trying to go on there and following those individuals. I want to see what's coming up. I want to know more about you. Yeah. When we've had musicians, or I shouldn't say musicians, artists on the show, and so I'm looking at their work. I'm listening to their music. I'm not just saying, hey, welcome to the podcast. Like I'm doing my homework. I'm doing my research. And you have a lot of people that don't want to invest into doing that. You've got to invest into what you are about. And again, even though it's not I'm just the co-host, right? So it's like he does, like I said, he does the back end of everything. But for me, I feel like if I'm going to be a good co-host, I need to be knowledgeable on who we have coming on the show.
It makes sense.
Go ahead.
Not to say that Ray makes sense though. I mean, the flow of everything, having everything written out, having everything planned out, having that's something I have. That's something I put in place myself. Having the introduction, like you said, having the background on the guest, the flow. Because I was telling somebody this: when you have your podcast, you want your podcast better when people turn on, they can sit down and listen to the great information, the gems, the nuggets, and you don't want to be all over the place. You've seen some podcasters, Sabrena, you've seen some podcasters who just be all over the place. Don't know what they're talking about. Unprofessional, moving all around. That's like, wow.
One thing on ours is we never have any dead space. Like there's never any quiet time on this podcast. I'm telling you, we've always got something. And Furman generally starts the show off, he'll always be like, and I already know Desiree's got questions. Like he knows that I've done my research. He knows that I'm going to have questions for you. He knows I'm also going to get down to the nitty gritty. Like I don't have a problem asking, like when Jay Philly was on, I was like, tell me about, how is it for the women in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get to the gossip to things too. Right. And so, but that's the thing is like you want to, provide content that people are going to listen to. So they want to hear what you're doing, but they also want to know you. What do we say? We like to say all the time, who are you? I am Desiree Bailey. I am very authentic on here. It's probably sometimes too authentic. I'm like a self-disclosure person. And so I don't try to get on here and act like my shit's together by any means. It's not. So, and I think that's what we want to see from our guests on here too, right? Like we do want to bring these professionals on. We do want to help promote their business, but we also
Yeah.
want to know, who are you? Because that's how you're going to get people to relate, to say, you know what, that, like when I tell you that I ask them about their back history, their, like, why they get started. Like with Kelly Morgan, it was her grandmother who really encouraged her. She didn't have a lot of support from her parents to be this artist, and so, but her grandmother was so supportive of her. And, she started when she was singing in church and stuff like that. That builds that connection, right? You now feel like, I'm with you, girl. Like, I'm proud of you not giving up. I'm proud of that hard work and stuff. And that's what I love about being able to be the one who gets to do the nitty gritty digging on the show. So he gets to do all the legwork on making sure everything's scheduled and aired, and everything starts on time. But I'm the one who, I'm like, Furman, I got this. Like, I'm gonna get down to the bottom.
What are you doing?
Yes, and for entrepreneurs out there, like in the beginning, it's not all going to be together. Even when I started my podcast, Hidden Images Podcast, it was not all together. I literally was just booking guests and I wasn't doing research on them. I didn't have a structure. I was just let's get it started. Let's just do it. Let's just go with it, right? But I realized that it was kind of not, it wasn't all over the place, because it's always been a business podcast when I'm interviewing entrepreneurs. Furman's been on my podcast as well. But I realized I had to build a structure behind my podcast. And man, when I tell you, once that structure was built, my podcast just started flowing much better.
Yes.
I started hearing people telling me, you're a great interviewer, or I love how you moved your show along. Even when I'm on live and my guests, they have their phone up and they're on live, their audience is saying the same thing. Oh, she's a great interviewer. She can move the podcast along really great. I just love what I'm hearing. So structure is really important. And if you're wanting to start a podcast and you need help building structure, I have actually taught myself how to build podcast structures, and I can help you build your podcast structure. So any entrepreneur out there, if you want to start a podcast, check me out. I definitely can help you with your podcast, and I have people in place that can help you push even further than what I can for your podcast. So shout out to all the podcasters out there. Shout out to you, Furman, and what you're doing. You have a great structure here on your podcast, and I see what you're doing, and it's amazing.
And like, and Furman will tell people that, when he first, 9 years this has been in the making, right, Furman?
Oh yeah, since 2000. Yeah, I've been doing this since 09.
Yeah, and so you're talking about, I mean, years, or since
Right.
09, that he's years of
Exactly.
him. And, and even we laugh about it, like, because, we'll look at some of the past shows and they'll be like 30, 45 minutes. And that, that his shows have ran, right? And then my very first time being on, like, they were like, okay, I need everybody from 100 Men to be on. We've blocked off this hour time. We went 2 hours into this podcast, and like, we were finally like, we've literally gone 2 hours when it was supposed to be an hour. And then it seems like, wouldn't you say pretty much, Furman, since then we have been like 2 hours, sometimes we're 2.5 hours in. And it's like, because, and I think that's where we just kind of, collaborated well with each other, and not saying that he wasn't doing a phenomenal job with it before. I'm not saying that at all, but it's like, now having me on and that extra energy, we're just vibing off of each other. We're vibing with our guests. We're connecting, we're digging. It's not just coming from Furman's point of view, but now you also get it from Furman and Desiree, which is a male and a female's point of view of asking of questions, and things where do what?
His and hers sing.
Yes. And so it happens to just, it vibes well for us. There's things that we disagree about on here, and I always yes, and I literally say it all the time. Somebody will be like, y'all were not seeing eye to eye on that, were you? And I said, you know what? But that's what makes it. That's what makes it even better, is because you need to see that there are different points of views, and that's okay. You want to see that it's okay to disagree. It doesn't mean that there's that negativity about our opinions, but not everybody that comes on the show or listens, is going to say, oh, I agree everything that, he says, or I agree with everything she says.
Mm-hmm.
You want people to be able to hear it from different perspectives.
Right.
Yep.
Sometimes, I know, like Daquan, he'll ask a question just to try to get it. Like, even if it's not what he's thinking, he's like, I'm going to put this out here just to have it from
Yeah.
another
Play
perspective.
devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I not?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always on here saying I'm about to play devil's advocate on this,
Yeah.
and
I love it.
I'll throw a little kick in there. And so, but we want people that are listening in that might have that same point of view to also have their voice heard by me asking that devil's advocate question.
Yeah.
Oh, love you, Daquan. And so, Daquan just made a comment on there. So, and I think that's what keeps it going. That's also that keeps it interesting, right? Like, you don't want to hit just one targeted, group of people that are just like, I agree with everything they say. You want those people that agree with maybe one of our views and another group that agrees with the other point of views.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you need. You can't just expect it to all be like, yes, Furman, yes, Furman, yes, Furman. No, I'm about to get on here and say, hell no, Furman. Like, you lost your damn mind, Furman. Like, I called him out on his shit.
Furman. That sounds real good how you say that, though. That sounds very high and attractive how you say that.
What? What? Hell no, you've lost your damn mind, Furman? Is that attractive?
That's nice. I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
Look, I literally though will tell him all the time, like, oh hell, like I sometimes I'm like, shit, he's not gonna have me on the next show because I've already disagreed with him too many times on this damn show. Like, I tell myself, I'll be like, I'm done. He's gonna cut me off of this damn podcast any minute now for disagreeing with him.
But Furman is I wouldn't say he's opinionated, but he stands on his opinion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay,
am I right?
Yeah. That's
Because I done had to get on Furman. What are you talking about? Like, no, Furman, he's not opinionated, but he definitely stands strong on what he says. So hey, I love it.
We have a good time. I love you too, and we have a good time all the time here on the show. And it's just the chemistry, the conversation, and that what makes it interesting. Like you said, get from both point of view, and that's the good thing about it. And I want to ask this question too for get off. Sabrena, how can people support financially, sponsorship? We know it does take money to do these things, of course. We know that.
Yes.
But how can people become sponsors? How can they donate? Is it a place where they can go send donation at? Can they become? Is it bi-weekly, a yearly partner? How did it go about that? Just really support.
Yeah, I mean, all of our speakers are sponsors. So that's one of the great things that we've implemented within the tour for us to generate income is making all of our speakers sponsors. So every one of our speakers that we've had since the start of the year, they're all sponsors of the tour. And every speaker that we will have in the future, they'll all be sponsors of the tour. So that's one of the first ways you can sponsor the tour is just by coming on board and being a speaker. After that, of course, the vendors, that's going to help out the tour. And just pouring into the tour, whatever monetary donation that you want to give, it's more than welcome. You can head over to our website, womenwithpurposetour.com, and make your donation right there. We've literally built everything to our website. So that's been the goal, is to drive all sales and drive everyone to our website. I still post our events on Eventbrite, but I really want people to drive to our website. So head on over to our website, womenwithpurposetour.com, and you can find all the information there as well.
Furman, what if I just happen to crash her event in Tyler on that Sunday, the 11th, and I just decide to tell you we're about to go live and I'm gonna crash it? You gonna get us on live?
I'd love for a media sponsor. I'd love for somebody to follow us and do that. If nobody comes in and do it, I'm gonna be the one to do it.
Look, I'm gonna stand even if I don't have my ticket, right? Like, I'm just gonna stand outside. I'll just go live and interview those people that are coming in.
That would be so dope if we set that up for y'all to be the media sponsor as well. That would be so dope for one of y'all to travel with us. and set up the podcast and go live, and that would be dope. So I'm gonna let y'all talk about
Like
that.
I'm just thinking, like, of course I was going more for the angle of I just wanted to crash. I wanted to be the rebel of the group. So I was like thinking, okay, like what if I just happen to show up in Tyler on the 11th and decide that I want to say, Furman, we're going on live right now, you better air us up and stuff. But how fun would that be just to talk about the experience with those that are trying something that they have maybe been afraid of? Or,
Yes.
I would love that feedback. I would love that feedback for, for others that even if they aren't a part of, of your tour, but to hear it and be maybe being encouraged to speak up, to not be afraid if they have a platform they want to speak on. But then, if you missed out on this event, there's the one coming up in September in Houston. Get on board with it. But I would love to also, and I'm just, like I said, I'm that corny person like that. I want to know, their thoughts of how the experience was for them, how they feel like it's going to change. I'm just that kind of, I like that kind of digging of stuff. So
Yeah. And the best thing I can tell anybody when they come to the tour is to get the full experience of what you learn, is to put what you learn in action. You can come to these tours all year long. You can go to 1,000 business conferences. But whatever you learn inside that conference, if you just go home and like, whatever, you just don't do anything about it. Don't put any action behind it. Don't implement some of the things that you've learned, then your experience died right when you left
yes,
that facility that day. It's no longer an experience to you. You no longer get to see the benefits of what you learned because you didn't put action behind it.
I agree with you. And we've actually mentioned this before about how when people will attend an event, or like when I go to different events for,
Yes.
for like these veteran resource stuff, I always, which I say on there, part of my networking is I make sure that I say hi to 2 people that I know. And I always make sure that I have like full conversation, get contact, and introduce myself to 2 people that I don't know. Right. I want the
Right.
2 people that know me to be able to know that I'm present in case if somebody says, hey, I've got this issue going on. They're already like, I know she's in the house. Let me go find her and I'll introduce you. But then I always like to make sure that I'm building my network. I'm building, my resources. And so, it's that follow up that is so important. If I get your card, I'm going to email you to make sure that even if you threw my card in a pile and now you've lost it, now you have my contact information via email, right? So, because my signature has it all on there. And so, I always look, girl, I've been doing this networking for a while now. Okay. And so, but that's what's important is that follow up. You can go somewhere, you can go where there's 1,000 different vendors in front of you and that have such great things and they can take the time to explain, their product to you. But if you just take it and you throw it in a pile whenever you leave there and you don't follow through with it, you don't follow up on it, I never want to go somewhere and introduce myself and say, how can I collaborate with you? How can I be of help and assistance to your organization? How can I benefit from partnering with you, right? If I have that conversation with you, you better damn well believe you're going to get an email from me to say, it was so great to meet you. Let's connect again one-on-one outside of that event so we can have a little bit more of a conversation. And but people don't. They're so lazy. They go to make an appearance, or they go in hopes that, like, I guess something will magically fall on their lap of what they could need. You've got to work. I work my ass off. I don't sleep because I'm working my ass off. If I can't sleep in the middle of the night, I'm on there researching what events are coming up. I'm on there, making sure that I didn't miss somebody in my spam email. That, you don't ever want to miss an opportunity. And I think that we have so many people that are just lazy about that. And then they sit back and want to bitch and moan and complain about how come they're not thriving. Well, how much are you actually investing into what your passion is about?
So I know people getting away from the business card. Now they're doing like virtual type cards where it's an app. They can just touch your phone. It's some way they do it.
I've seen
tap
that.
your all the information pop on the phone. So people slowly getting away from the business card. They doing things virtual now, which is
and now they have like where you can either use your phone and tap each other and it puts all your information on there, or they have it's like a credit card, and you just take the credit card and you like set it up against their phone, and then it syncs all of your information on there. But that's like, and I keep saying I'm going to do it because obviously with all the different organizations I'm with, it's hard to make sure I have enough cards for everything on there. So I keep saying I'm going to set it up to where it's either on the card or on my phone, because who does not have their phone on them at all times? And if you say you
Right.
don't, you are damn lie, okay? Especially when you're in our business, right? When you're constantly having to post stuff on media, you're having to connect with other people, your phone is on you. I mean, I take a damn bath and my damn phone's next to me, both phones, my personal and my work. So you have no excuse to say, when somebody says, do you have a card? How can I get in touch with you? You should never be able to say, oh, I'm out of them, or I haven't got them ordered yet. If you can have something that's in your phone, like, do it.
Right.
It works. It really
You're going to
does.
miss an opportunity.
Yep.
You're right. I know about ready to get off the air as well. We had a great time on here with you, Sabrina, as well. Like I said, keep up the great
Thank
work.
y'all.
You need to work, and I know you got a productive day ahead of you. So,
I
do you
do.
have any final remarks you want to leave here with the listening audience that's going to go back and see the replay, whether it's virtual, whether video wise or auto wise, whether it be on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts? Go ahead and give your final remarks to the listening audience.
Yeah, well, my final remarks is my message for 2023, and that's you can create the life that you want to live. It's going to take sacrifice and hard work, but you can do that. So I'm on my own journey of creating this life that I want to live, and I'm stepping into it. And I just want to encourage any entrepreneur out there, anybody looking to be an entrepreneur, that you can do it. You can create entrepreneurship for yourself. You can create the life that you want to live. You can create the brand or the business that you want to have. You just have to do it.
Yeah, like
It's
nice.
going to take hard work. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take long nights. Yes, it's going to take sleepless nights. Yes, 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 yes. It's going to take all of that hard work. And you're going to have to leave people behind. You're going to have to do that. Not everybody can go on your journey with you, but you can do it. You just have to get up and do it. Put action behind your thoughts and just go do it.
Stop speaking it and just do it. And I love,
Just do it.
Sabrina, thank you so much for being on.
You're
And for those
welcome.
that are also, either just tuning in, listening to this, back, go to, Sabrina's website. It's going to be the womenwithpurposetour.com. Also, if you don't go on that one, definitely look for her on social media. She is on social media. You will see all of her events that she's promoting on there. And, for me, if I had to say one thing, Sabrina, I would say it's like a one-stop shop. Like, right, we've got you helping encourage and helping to get these, entrepreneurs up and going, but also photography, loving this.
Yes.
My confidence of my little sexy photo shoot that'll be coming up. But also, you just even saying that you're there to help anybody if they're wanting to start their podcast. Like, if you guys want something, you're needing a little support, I think that you definitely want to connect with Sabrina. So please go on to her page, get your tickets. It's on the flyer. It says, register now. Like, go on there, click it, be a part of that. If you're in the Tyler area, if you're not, hey, make it a girls trip. Let's go to Tyler for the weekend.
Absolutely.
And do something for yourself. And that's what's important. Invest in yourself so that way you can also invest in what you're passionate about.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you.
that's it.
Yes.
And it all sums it up right there. So we're gonna be back here Tuesday night here at 7 p.m. here on Walking This Way Impact Boys Podcast, and I'll be doing Wednesday show as well. We're gonna be doing two shows Wednesday. I'll be doing a Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. and I'll be back with Desiree Wednesday night, of course, at 7 p.m. I know she'll be with me Tuesday night at 7 p.m. So
Who are you doing at 10? Who are you doing at
uh,
10?
I got Paige Jackson coming on because she has an event she has to do.
Oh, uh-huh.
So I worked it out where I can interview her at 10 a.m. just the way I did last week's show. So this thing is just growing, man. It's just like
Yeah. We're
doing
putting
two
multiple
shows,
ones
yeah.
in. Yeah. I think I'm doing a live, right before our Wednesday show. And then, of course, the She Vets It podcast on Thursday. And
Okay.
so, we're trying to get it out there for everybody. We're definitely trying to, and thank you from the Meta Association. This is great info. So we're definitely trying to, help each other. And I think that's what it's about. Sometimes you just got to get that live in real quick, get that extra podcast in real quick. And it's that consistency. that makes this all happen, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
will be back on Tuesday. More of our new faces of Dallas Fort Worth. We're excited about that, and we hope that everybody will tune in and see next week's lineup of guests. And Sabrena, again, it's been wonderful having you on.
Oh, thank you. I want to leave y'all with a little promo video real quick.
Okay.
So, everybody, I'm Sabrena Ford, the founder of Women with Purpose Tour. Be sure to check out my podcast with Furman Jackson on YouTube this weekend.
Love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, and now maybe I'll see you June 11th. I'll come crash you or something.
Oh, please do. Please do. Come
Furman, quit shaking. He shakes his head like he doubts me, but
I ain't
he
seen
knows.
Furman this whole time. It's been frozen. I have not seen him. So I have to go back and watch the replay.
Oh, you haven't been able to see him at all? Like I can see him. He's
No,
shaking his
he's frozen
okay.
the entire time.
Every time I say that I'm going to come crash and I'm going to go and be there and be live, he's over here going. And you know what? What's so funny is he will sit there and he acts like he's doubting me, but he might be shaking his head and saying, and she will. Like maybe his head's just not bobbing the right way.
You know what? I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. But
have I not delivered everything I've said so far? So much to where, listen, I was at the basketball game. I was at the Mavericks game, and we had a guest coming on. And I was like, I don't want to miss introducing and meeting this person. I literally went on live before, like in the middle of the game, just so I could make sure that I was thankful to this guest. I was like, I'm sorry. I was being apologetic for not being able to be present for the whole thing. He knows when I say I'm going to do something, damn it, I deliver, Furman.
I believe you. I believe you. You keep saying you're going to crash, But
hey, listen, crashing it, that just sounds so much more exciting than be like, hey, I'm going to be in attendance. I'm going to come crash that shit, and I'm going to promote it.
They don't say the word crash no more. That's so 19.
I say crash.
Oh, wait a minute.
I say crash.
Do we have a difference of opinions
like if I'm
here?
going to my friend's house, I'm like, girl, I'm going to come crash with you. I say crash all the time.
That's so 80.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to come crash. Let me come crash, girl. Let me
While
crash
he's over here trying to be a hater on
me. Let's go steady.
How about we go with can I court you?
I asked somebody the other day, do we want to go to lunch? I was like, do you want to go Dutch? Because I ain't got the extra funds to pay. I asked someone, do you want to go Dutch?
And they were like, Dutch? What the hell is in Dutch?
You pay for you, I pay for me.
Right? Look, why he's sitting here trying to... And you know what you were just doing? I see what you were doing. You were just trying to point out my age by saying this whole.
I know I'm an '80s baby.
Look, I was born in '79.
Oh,
and so.
But you look so good.
Aw,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen,
age is beauty. Age is wisdom, especially on women. We age beautifully. Oh my God.
I say that I gotta be funny. When I say it, somebody else give you a compliment. Desiree is cute. When I say it, you think I'm being funny.
Cause you are.
That's so discriminating. That's so discriminating.
What the hell ever?
You think I'm being funny?
Look, cause I can be looking as shitty. Like I think sometimes he calls me out on it. Cause I'll come on here. Hair is seriously not like we did a sexology podcast the other night. I mean, I was like, I'm gonna own this shit. I came on with my little leopard print silk robe and a little cami top. Like I was like, I'm just gonna get up. Like I'm gonna go ahead and if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, right? All in. I'm not gonna half-ass that shit. And so, but sometimes I'll come on here in the mornings and my hair will be just crazy. And he'll be like, and our beautiful, co-host Desiree Bailey, and I'm like, you trying to be funny right now? I know this hair's got some flyaways up in this back angle over here.
I say you think I'm being funny.
Look, like I said, I'm going to start doing my little, this little thing, got to make sure that face is lifted, them eyes don't have them bags underneath it.
So what I'm going to do next time, when you're doing it, I'm going to put you on solo and zoom up and everybody.
And I will whoop y'all.
Everybody.
You know what? You know why? Because I'm always giving him shit. Like, he'll do like on TikTok or he'll do on Instagram, he'll do like a little clip of the show. He'll do it today. No lie. He won't do it now just because I'm calling him out on this, okay? But he seriously always wants to put the one part of the clip. We could be on here 2 hours and guess which clip he's going to get. He always wants to post the one where you can see my face going.
No, because what I be trying to
Every
do is I
damn
be
time.
getting
Every
information.
time.
I be getting information when the guests be talking, and I don't know why your face get caught up like that. I don't know why, but I be trying to
Why my face get caught up like that? Do you hear that shit? Do you hear that? But that's the one that he'll post. So it's funny is he had his mom and his aunt were on a podcast, and we were like, asking mom like if she was supporting us women and stuff. Well, she posted across the screen, yes, I'm supporting the women. I was like, I'm screenshotting that. Luckily I took two, because while I'm screenshotting it, the first picture I'm going like that. And then I said, now I know why Furman always catches those. But I'm just very expressional with my face. Like my face don't lie.
But you know what my mom texts me as me being her firstborn? She said, I'm proud of you. That's the only thing that said my mama said she's proud of me.
And you know what? That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, mama proud of me. That's all I say. But mom said she's proud of me. That's
Look, that's what's important. But you watch, look back at some of his TikToks, and you'll be like, see, he did her dirty. He does me dirty all the.
No, I don't. But anyway, I love you anyway, Desiree. I love you anyway. But we got to get ready to go. I know Sabrena, she got some work she got to get done. It ain't gonna be my fault. I don't know if you're saying Furman heal me up. It ain't gonna be nothing.
Furman, help me up. It's lunchtime. Tengo mucho hambre ahora. Necesito comer. I need to eat. I'm hungry.
You heard that?
You cuss me out or something.
Wrap this shit up, she said. I'll translate. She said, wrap this shit up.
Okay, we're gonna go. Finna go. Also, man, remember this. Remember the graveyard.
I ain't even talk about the Spanish. We'll do that next time.
Okay. Anyway, I want to be trying to see the thing. I got this quote from him. He said, remember the graveyard. Everybody had one thing in common. They thought they were going to see tomorrow, and they didn't. Let's live life like it's our last. Most importantly, enjoy your life. Be fun. Enjoy. Be successful. Conquer. Succeed. Win at all costs. And remember, you have that workhorse mentality. Me and Desiree will be back here Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I'm not going to say anything else because every time I say something, she think I'm being funny. And I'm funny. Y'all have a great
Thank you.
Day. Peace, everybody.
Que tenga un buen día ustedes.
She said, until next time.
I know, right?
All right, I'll see y'all later. Thank you guys. Have a great day and a great weekend. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day this weekend to all of our moms listening.
I ain't no mom.
I say to all the moms listening.
Do
you see? Now, do you see this? This is why we can't get off the air on time. You know what? You need to last. You need to listen. Apologize.
I do listen. Even though my ears I listen though.
Look, what did I say about how people are so defensive? You think that it's
yes? You said to all the moms listening out there.
like when people see me in the street, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I ain't got no kids, but you know what?
It's just out of respect.
Because I'm a man that I got kids. I don't have any kids.
Well, to your father, it's just out of respect. I get it all the time, and what I say is, okay, thank you. I'll tell my mom. That's what I say. Because people, they don't know, and it's not wrong to say that or assume. But I mean, thank you. I'll tell my mom.
It's not like you walk around saying no kids, okay? Like, look at
kids. I do.
Look at she didn't know I was a grandmother, so at the end of the day.
You said I won't let y'all go. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, yes.
Peace, everybody. Peace.
Bye.